Imagine this. It's 2017 and you just get out of middle school or even high school. You get home, finish your homework assignments, and start to relax. You turn on YouTube and you see that Vanoss uploaded a new GTA 5 funny moments video to his channel. You sit back and enjoy the video. Miniladd is a prominent creator who is featured in almost every single VanossGaming video, but after a couple months, Miniladd starts to appear less and less within the videos. So you start to look into the reason for why Miniladd was excluded out of newer Vanoss uploads, and you find out that Miniladd just wanted to focus on his individual career, which was okay, but then a few months later, or even a year later, Miniladd would find himself in some drama between him and his ex-friends from the VanossGaming crew, most notably with Terrorizer, who was Miniladd's closest friend from the group. This beef escalated to a point of no return when old screenshots would pop up of Miniladd being homophobic and racist on Twitter. And then a couple months later, Miniladd got exposed for speaking inappropriately to minors. Multiple minors would come out against Miniladd and his behavior. And as a result, Miniladd left the community for a few months and would come back with an apology, but would later delete the original apology and videos related to the controversy to try to sweep everything underneath the rug. But what has happened since then? Now, if you're new to the channel, I used to upload videos that would revisit some of the biggest creators that have been exposed in the past. This is because a lot of the time, these creators get off scot-free and continue to upload as if nothing happened. This series is to look at the creators months or even years after everything happened to see if anything has changed within their content. Also, it's a way for me to look at creators from when I first started to create content in order to give a better overview of that creator and the drama surrounding them. Mostly because my older videos weren't the greatest, but if you enjoy this series, leave a like at the end of the video and also comment on which creator I should revisit next. Craig Thompson, also known online as Miniladd, created his channel all the way back in 2011. Starting off his channel with a variety of different games and videos, it wouldn't be until a few months after creating his account that he stumbled upon the series trolling Call of Duty lobbies, and this gave Craig an identity. Craig would fit into Vanoss's crew, and together they would create the most entertaining videos during the mid-2010s. If you were on YouTube around 2013 and 2014, these videos were always recommended, and Vanoss and his crew were receiving millions of views each and every upload. This was more of a trickle-down effect. Miniladd, H2O Delirious, Wildcat, Nogla, Basically I Do Work, and Terrorizer all benefited the most by being in Vanoss's videos. Miniladd on his own was growing pretty slow, but when he joined the VanossGaming crew, his views and subscribers started to grow extremely fast. From July of 2013, when Miniladd only had 50,000 subscribers on his channel, that number would double to 100,000 subscribers in just 3 months after uploading more videos with Vanoss. It was noticeable how impactful Vanoss's channel was for Miniladd, and before anyone knew it, Miniladd went from 100,000 subscribers to over 500,000 subscribers in just a few months. Miniladd was blossoming faster than a lot of creators on the platform, but Miniladd also felt like his career was being overshadowed by Vanoss's career. Miniladd had 2 million subscribers when he started to feel this way about the group and would slowly start to distance himself away from Vanoss and his channel. Now, this wasn't a complete departure from the VanossGaming channel, and even at the time, I didn't even realize how many videos were uploaded to Vanoss's channel without Miniladd being involved in that video. I even stated this in my original video.
Now, I honestly thought that Craig left the group in like 2017, but from a twitlonger made from Brian, he states that Craig had left the group in 2015.
Over on Miniladd's channel, he'd start to upload more solo content and started to play more single player games by himself, only having a couple videos here and there that would showcase every person from the VanossGaming crew. He'd also switch up his thumbnails, which meant that it was an end of an era. This departure from the VanossGaming crew was minute, and if you weren't really paying attention or if Miniladd wasn't one of your favorite creators at the time, you really wouldn't have noticed. But this separation from Vanoss and the gang was beneficial for Miniladd. His content was still growing and he was still pulling in a consistent viewership for each and every video. After leaving Vanoss, Miniladd went on to hit 3 big milestones: 3 million, 4 million, and 5 million subscribers all on his own. without the help of Vanoss's channel. Now this was largely in part due to the new creators he started to collaborate with, like when he and Mini Minter collabed in a bunch of videos that were uploaded to both of their channels, expanding Miniladd's audience to new parts of the internet. After a while of creating content by himself, Miniladd would start to throw some shade at some of his former friends. During a Mario Kart livestream in 2018, Miniladd received a donation. This donation asked Miniladd why he didn't play with Vanoss and the crew anymore, and he had this to say.
I need to make sure I get these tight corners. I'm about to lap someone.
Fan of your work. Keep it up. The only thing I want to ask is how come you don't play with VanossGaming?
Wow. Because I don't play Gmod anymore. That's all he does. Question done.
Not only did this comment come out really aggressive, but Miniladd also seemed a bit bitter in a way. This could be due to everyone asking that question over and over again, and maybe he was annoyed at just the question itself and had no intent with it being a dig on Vanoss in his videos. But Miniladd just continued to throw shade constantly at Vanoss and the crew. During an event called Insomnia, Miniladd's dog Mochi would unexpectedly die, so Miniladd uploaded a video that explained what happened to the dog and how he forgave the people who were in charge of watching Mochi and explained that it was nobody's fault and things like that just happened. And he actually praised some of the people that were watching the dog because he said that they did everything that they could. Now off screen, things started to become even more tense between Miniladd and Terrorizer. They'd meet at different events like the E3 event and it wouldn't go too well. Craig continued to throw shade at Vanoss and his friends, like in one of his meme streams where Craig stated,
I also have no idea. They're still playing Gmod? Damn. After all this time, they're still playing Gmod? I mean, they kicked me out of all their chat, so I have no idea what the hell they're doing, so. They're still that damn. I wasn't kicked. Oh my god. Alright. So, just to clear up any drama, I'm going off and doing my own thing. And then a hard face! Alright. Just to clear up some shit. I wasn't kicked. All they did was play Fortnite and Gmod and then talk shit about other YouTubers. So I said, fuck that. I broke away from that group. I'm doing my own thing. I've never felt better. My community's stronger than ever. I'm pulling more views than ever. And I'm personally a lot more happy as a human.
This was once again a petty statement which Miniladd had to address midstream in order to make himself look like the victim. A couple weeks later, Terrorizer responded in his own stream stating,
why not invite Mini? I'll tell you why. He doesn't play with us. He left. And then he decided on stream to badmouth myself and my friends. Well, mainly just my friends. And I didn't appreciate that. So, I don't play with the guy lately. Because he's going on his meme streams talking shit about us. It's not cool. So, that's why. Alright? He left the group to do his own thing. That's it. I don't understand why some people find it so hard to understand. He left the group. He wanted to do his own thing. We were cool with that. We respected that. But I don't get why you leave a group and then talk shit about the group. We didn't kick you out, man.
Now this back and forth started to get more and more personal, and Craig uploaded a statement to his Twitter account. It's deleted because Miniladd went dark on his account, but it pretty much stated that Terrorizer was trying to make Miniladd look like a bad person who hated all of his friends. And this painted Terrorizer out to be someone who was attacking Craig for no reason. Craig also stated that Brian was making fun of his mental health after his dog died. But Brian responded to that tweet stating, and I wish you all the best too, Craig. But that quote is pure slander. Accusing me of making fun of mental health is just wrong, Craig. There's more information you've omitted from this whole thing in order to paint a certain picture in the public's eye. Kinda low. Craig followed Brian's quote tweet up with his own quote tweet stating, it was a near quote. That's the whole reason I stopped the conversation at the 3BD party is because that comment. You know about my mental health struggle, and that was a stab in the gut. If you really want to sort this, DM me. Brian replied one last time stating, that is a nowhere near quote, Craig. Your reason for your actions the day before was, my dog just died. My reply was, Craig, my dad just died. but it doesn't give me an excuse to mistreat others because of my personal issues. You can't tweet this out and then ask for DM. Brian eventually uploaded a tweet longer that went in depth on what happened the night at E3. Now, I won't read the whole tweet longer because it is a lot, but I do want to read just some of the retelling of that event. Brian stated in the tweet longer, it started at E3 Monster Cat party at Exchange LA, and while I was there, I bumped into Craig. After the party, we all decided to go back to someone's house. Craig offered, so we ordered an Uber to go there. In the Uber, Tyler made a joke about Craig's Ferrari, and thinking it was all in good fun, I joined in on the same joke. I was sitting in the seat in front of Craig, so I couldn't tell if he was bothered by the jokes, which were based off a quote in the BBC News report about the local rugby team in his hometown he sponsored. When we arrived at the house, people were rushing to the bathroom to use it. I made a joke as this was happening, saying, "Let's pee in the pool." I ran out to the back of the pool and pulled my pants down to my ankles to pretend to pee. The night continued as normal without me thinking there was a problem. Later on, Craig went upstairs to his girlfriend who was in her room alone. Craig returned downstairs, and soon after, he started to make it seem like my girlfriend and I were not welcome, so we decided to leave. We ordered an Uber, said goodbye, and went home just believing everything was fine, but still unsure if we just misinterpreted the scenario. Moving on to the next day. For context here, the previous day we had a group text to chat about having a group dinner the following day. Craig took it upon himself to book the table for this dinner and included everyone in the booking while omitting my girlfriend and me on purpose without telling us. Our group of friends are not in the same location very often, so this is a very rare instance of when the group can spend time together in person, which is really important to me. My girlfriend and I didn't attend the dinner because we weren't invited to it and only found out about the dinner only 3 hours before the reservation at 6 p.m. Marcel had found out that I had been excluded from the reservation and brought it to my attention. Marcel wanted to know why I wasn't invited, and then Craig replied saying, "I'll talk to you about this tonight if you're out." At the dinner, I was told Craig proceeded to discuss the night before and said I was making everything awkward for others with the Ferrari joke and pool joke specifically. After my dinner with my girlfriend, we went to a party where all of our friends group were going so we could meet up. At one point in the night, Craig approached me and opened up the conversation with a half-hearted awkward laugh and a hi. I stopped him immediately from speaking because I was so upset about the way he handled things up to this point, and the way he laughed while saying hi felt like this wasn't a serious issue to him. I said, "I'm going to talk to you like a man should and say things directly to your face and not behind your back and text to everyone else but me. If you had a problem with things that I said last night, all you needed to do was talk to me directly about it and I would have happily apologized. I meant no malicious intent in any of the jokes that I made, and I joined in on jokes, so accusing me of starting the joke is not fair. I thought it was a group of friends having fun together." Craig then interjected me saying, "I have so much going on in my mind right now." I replied with, "We all have things going on in our life." Once I finished that, Craig replied, "But Brian, my dog just died." To which I replied, "Craig, my dad just died, but that doesn't give me the right to take my frustrations out on everyone else because of my own personal grievances and use that as a reasonable excuse for my actions. I can't tell what's going on in your brain. No one can. Unless you tell me about your personal issues, how can I tell that you're sensitive to jokes we are making that we think are in good fun, but unaware to me, it's upsetting you? You can't hold that against me as if I'm attacking you and being a dick on purpose because I don't know what's going on inside your brain. Per your tweets, I feel this is the part that you have either poorly misinterpreted or else recalled incorrectly. Since you accuse me of making fun of your mental health, having you say something like that really hurts me because I wouldn't say something like that to you or anyone, and I would really appreciate if you retracted that tweet." I continued to say to Craig, "The main reason of this trip, which I booked last second, was to finally be in an event where all of our friends were in one location together. This was the one night everyone from our group of friends was in Los Angeles together before some people had to go home, and you took that away from me because you weren't willing to talk about it properly with me this morning, face to face. If I had known I had upset you or insulted you accidentally, I would have apologized completely. I never meant to offend or upset you, but texting everyone about the night before behind my back and planning a dinner just to exclude me was selfish and really hurt because it was the one thing I was truly excited for, to have some time where we were all together as a group." I ended it with, "That's everything I want to say to you. Have a good night and just leave me alone." Craig said okay and walked away. You stated in your tweet that I made fun of your mental health and that's the whole reason I stopped the conversation. You didn't end any conversation. You didn't really say much and I never said it's so sad you're too effed up in the head to take a joke anymore. That never left my lips and I 100% refute that accusation entirely. Now this tweet longer shined a light on the type of person Miniladd was. He took everything Brian said and flipped it into something horrible to try and bury Brian and his channel. But from this recounting of the events and with Craig never responding, it seemed like this was in fact the truth. That same year, Miniladd won an award from YouTube, which also helped his growth in the platform. But once again, Craig was called out for lying about how him and Brian were trying to patch their friendship. Craig stated that he saw Brian backstage for a Vanoss concert and they shook hands and spoke, but Brian stated that it didn't happen that way.
But Brian, we're figuring things out. You know, we talked backstage at Evan's show and we shook hands and we're gonna work on it. So like, you know, I miss the dude and it's good to see things coming together.
So yeah, I don't particularly want to work with the guy. I know he made a video saying we're patching things up, which is not true. I feel like he says things in order to kind of get flack off of his back.
Later that year, Craig finally apologized to Brian and the community, saying, "This is well overdue. I wanted to start this off by just saying sorry. What's going on between you and I should have kept it private and try to fix it there, but I snapped and crumbled. Is that an excuse? Of course not. I've been a bad friend. I've said things that I regret and I wish I could take them back. Brian, we used to be best friends and some of my favorite memories are with you both off screen and on screen. I miss you and I hope we can eventually get back to a point where we can be friends again. I hope we can work things out. I'm sorry I haven't been a good friend, but I hope you can find some way of forgiving me. Hopefully someday I can buy you a beer. To the fans I've hurt by this mess, I want to say sorry. A lot of you come to our videos for an escape from your own lives, and seeing turmoil in your escape isn't fair on you. For those who choose not to forgive me, I understand. I hurt you too. I hope that we can all move past this, but it will take time. I'm admitting my faults and I'll be better. Thank you for reading and have a great rest of your day." This apology came in early June of 2020, but if we all remember correctly, June was the same time where Miniladd was exposed for inappropriate interactions with his female fans who were underage. This all came to light when Miniladd's ex-girlfriend Samantha uploaded a series of tweets stating how Miniladd was manipulative and toxic. On Twitter, Samantha tweeted out, "No, Craig didn't R-word me, but it was an extremely toxic and manipulative relationship. He messaged me and a few of my friends to make sure I didn't say anything about him specifically. He wanted me to clarify, so here you go." Along with this tweet were screenshots of how manipulative Craig was and how he wanted to make sure that Sammy specifically stated that she was not speaking about Miniladd when she was tweeting out her experiences with previous relationships. Craig went as far as to reach out to Samantha's friends in order to spread the message to Sammy. Not only that, but Craig lied about going to see a therapist for his mental health, and also stated that his 2019 year on YouTube was supposed to be awesome, but blamed her for ruining it. This all happened a day before the bomb exploded for Miniladd. Now, on June 23rd, 2020, two women uploaded twitlongers exposing their experience with Miniladd. The two women were Holly and Ash, two people Craig was friends with, but he took advantage of. I'll start off with Holly's twitlonger before I move on to Ash's twitlonger. During Holly's twitlonger, she'd state, "Honestly do not remember when or why Craig and I started talking more. I think it was more so I was worried for him and tried to be a good friend because of the breakup at the time. So I was there for him, direct messaging him through Twitter during my classes, listening to his worries about his ex, or even just to talk. Then things started to get more personal and darker with the conversations. He would go to me for venting to see if there were ways to get back to his ex or help her change and whatnot. Of course, me trying to be a good friend, I listened to everything he had to say and even said, sure, there is hope in changing her and shit like that. Even shit talked about her with him, which was very wrong of me. I'll admit I was being a bit of an ass kisser. Reason being was I had a crush on him. He knew that. I had to sometimes sit and listen to him talk about how he got an erection over his ex or whatever, despite him knowing how I felt about him. But then, don't remember why, but we were joking around to where I said something about his D being small. I guess he took it personally, as you will see in the replies of our conversation that started on Twitter, that he moved to Discord so he could delete photos he sent me. He sent me pictures of him in his underwear to show off his bulge of his pee, which I did not ask for at all. I want to clarify that the reason I was acting cool with it was because I had an effing crush on him. So whatever, right? And so didn't really know better. Remember, I was a minor. I was 16. He knew that. He knew that I liked him, sent me those photos to someone he knew liked him for a boost of ego. The worst part is, I was not the only person he has done this to, with someone else who will come out that I will retweet. She experienced much more weird shit to say to an effing minor. That will be Ash's place to say. I think a year after the situation happened with him sending me photos, I confronted him about it and he apologized and said he knew he hurt me and regrets it. However, it makes me question if he said that just so I didn't turn against him and help expose him. The fact I even had to question it, even to this day, truly says a lot. When he and Sammy got together, I told him if he was to date her, he should be honest about the creepy shit he has done. He said he would, then later told me he wouldn't. I shrugged it off and I had hope maybe he would come to his senses. I only just found out now that he never said a damn word to her and I had to be the one to tell Sammy. The only reason why I was brought up though before with the whole you should tell her was because he was being threatened to be exposed by someone who I will not publicly name who was friends with Ash. He was scared of losing his career and how it would ruin his friendships. Craig, if you didn't want that, you shouldn't have done what you did in the first place and not excused your actions with being depressed and suicidal. You manipulated me into keeping my mouth shut for so long because I was terrified of what you could do to yourself. That goes for a lot of people who knew about the situation. There's no excuse for you being the way you were with underage girls, such as myself at the time. Now this twitlonger was a huge story at the time, and to see two women come out against Miniladd on the same exact day within the same couple of hours was extremely big. A big excuse Miniladd always stated was that he was depressed or suicidal, which was a manipulation tactic into keeping these women quiet. Now Ash's experience with Craig was pretty bad, so let's take a look at her twitlonger and just see what happens there. Ash states, he followed me and sent a DM to say he would not have been added to the group chat if it hadn't been for me. I was confused as I had no part in him joining the group chat, but was excited anyways. He told me if I ever needed anything, I could reach out, and then he began to discuss his recent breakup and how poorly it was affecting his mental health. So I told him he could do the same. I was over the moon to feel so close to the person I was infatuated with. We were casually friendly for a while with many tweets back and forth and the occasional DM. He added me on Snapchat where we chatted here and there. Nothing super deep. Now things took a sharp turn when we were chatting on Snapchat one day and the subject of virginity came up. He asked if I was a virgin and I said yes. He then asked if he could take my virginity and I told him yes. Things escalated from there and it's hard to recall specifics from so long ago, especially from Snapchat where chat history gets deleted. I remember my family had a trip planned to California to visit family for my birthday and he asked if I would be able to come over to his house to have sex. I told him it would probably be a long shot because I was still 17 and my parents probably wouldn't let me out alone. My stepdad ended up having minor health complications that made us have to cancel our trip, a blessing in disguise. Although I never went to physically meet him, things continued to be sexual. We called a few times on Discord and he asked me for nudes quite often. I initially told him I wasn't comfortable sending things like that, but I was afraid after a while he would lose interest, so I complied. I can't say exactly how many pictures/videos were exchanged, but it was quite a few. He initiated nearly every conversation because I was too intimidated to message him first in fear of bothering him. All of this went on for around 6 months when we started messaging less and less. My infatuation died and I was no longer looking through rose-tinted glasses. I gained a lot of perspective and felt used. Someone I looked up to and admired took advantage of that to get what he wanted. These allegations took the internet by storm, and fans of Miniladd weren't really sure who to believe. But Craig released a statement on the 25th of June that stated, "Hi everyone. Many of you are probably aware by now of the allegations recently made online about my behavior a few years ago. I've read through everything that was said and shared and understand how unacceptable my actions were. I take full accountability for the inappropriate texts and messages I sent. I regret having said or sent anything that made anyone uncomfortable or upset. I'm truly and deeply sorry for what I did. I absolutely should have done what was necessary at the time, and that was seeking professional help, realizing that my actions were completely unacceptable and working to change my behaviors from the inside out. Moving forward, I fully commit to working on myself, including going to therapy, rethinking and changing some of my life choices, and personally apologizing to those I harmed. harmed. I know it's hard to believe, and I totally get it. I haven't given you a reason to trust me, and I know I need to earn it, but that's on me to prove to you. I know there's no righting my wrongs here, and I want to express again how sorry I am to the people I have hurt and the fans I have let down. I have a long road of personal searching ahead of me, so that's my focus now, and I will be back when the time is right. Take care of yourself, Craig Thompson / Miniladd. After this statement / apology, Craig left YouTube for a few weeks. He'd come back on August 12th, 2020, as if nothing happened. His initial video back received a ton of backlash, and the reason for the backlash was because of how he never made a video response to the allegations, and there was word that he moved back to Northern Ireland. A couple days after Craig's initial return to the platform, Hallie uploaded a video speaking about Miniladd and the whole situation. Here's parts of her video.
I'm going to show the screenshots. Again, this is from someone I will not name, but this is at the time where she thought she was helping Craig because she was also a victim of his manipulation, and he would use suicide attempts on, like, telling her he wanted to kill himself to keep her quiet, and she decided to share with me these screenshots, and it's a very brave thing to do, and I'm going to respect her privacy by not naming who she is. She basically was told by Craig to go to Ash, one of the other girls who came out, who dealt with way worse, to tell her about his suicide attempt, to make her feel some sort of pity, and then was saying to me, which you'll see now, just how if Ash ever came up about this, she would be the person who's responsible for killing thousands of people, because of if people found out who he was and fans who count on his videos found out about him, they would kill themselves. How much of a massive ego can you have? How much of a disgusting human being can you be to think you have a right on this platform? We already have terrible fucking people on here. We don't need you. We need you fucking away. We need you actually in getting actual help.
After this, Miniladd knew he had to respond. And also throughout this time, another minor came out against Craig and his weird behavior when Craig, Marcel, and Brian hosted a summer camp event. The allegations were deleted, so it's hard to know exactly what Miles was alleging, but during Miniladd's video called Clearing the Air, he spoke about the situation. This apology video was pretty bad, and it wasn't really even an apology video, it's more so just him saying what was happening. Not only was it short, but it also spoke about the allegations as if they meant nothing. He didn't mention Ash or Hallie, never stated what the allegations were to begin with, and the only thing he did talk about was the situation at camp. Here's parts of the video.
That's been going on online lately, whether it's through YouTube or Twitter or places like that. I've been reading a lot of your guys' comments as well, and I wanted to formally address everything. But as well as address everything, I want to talk about a lot of the rumors that are out there and debunk some of them too. Now that some time has passed and I've had time to reflect on everything and get a grand scope of everything that's been going on, I wanted to set the record straight. After this all came out, I did make a statement on this over on my Twitter, but now I think is the correct time to sit down and make a video addressing it. The first thing that I wanted to talk about with these allegations is I've never physically met them before, nor have I physically abused anybody across the board. I want to make people aware of that because those are serious allegations and I wanted to put those rumors to bed. The next point that I wanted to bring up that I've seen is people wondering why I went back to Northern Ireland or what the reason that I went home to Northern Ireland was. The main reason and the only reason is that I wanted to see my family going on there. Hey guys, I wanted to add this little bit on here at the end up as there's been some new stuff come out on Twitter, and with this situation, I just wanted to address it head on. The situation with the other two people that I said on Twitter was a situation where my behavior was unacceptable, and I understand that, and I will continue to strive to do better. This new person has come out, has talked about a camp that I did called Camp 17, where it was myself and two other YouTubers where we had a summer camp where for a few days we got to hang out with some fans. This is a summer camp where I was only around people for maybe about an hour a day. I was staying off campus at a different hotel and everything was securely monitored. This person is accusing me of a few things, so I would like to go through each point individually and debunk them respectively. The first one is a photo that has come out with me and the two other YouTubers that are there, where a picture of us holding her in the air has come out. This is a photo taken during a meet and greet at the very end of the summer camp. This is a situation where people are able to come in, they're able to get a photo, they're able to get one or two things signed, and then they move on. During this, she said that I asked to pick her up. For the photo, she asked if myself and the other YouTubers could hold her up for the photo, so what she's saying here is untrue. The second point she brings up is that I sat too close to her and her friends. This part's quite confusing because everyone sat next to everyone else as a part of regular scheduled programming. At no point was any of us unmonitored, as myself, the other YouTubers that were there, also the fans that were there, but there were also adults there and counselors there monitoring everything. So at no point during this entire summer camp was anybody unsupervised. The third point they bring up is they claim that I call them cute and pretty. This is completely fabricated, and I did not say this. This is untrue. Like I said in the previous point, at all times during this camp, we were surrounded by camp workers and counselors to ensure the safety of myself and ensure the safety of them and ensure the safety of everyone else. At all times, they could hear everything that I was saying, so this could not have happened. For me, I've always wanted to use my platform for good.
After this, Hallie uploaded another video speaking about Craig and his apology, and she looked very distraught, and she stated,
But holy shit. Holy shit. I am more pissed. The reason why is Craig uploaded a video clearing the air. Haha. Very funny. Addressing everything. He wasn't addressing anything. He debunked rumors that didn't exist, which were people apparently in his mind were like saying we were being touched physically, which wasn't the goddamn case. We never were. We would have said that. And there were no rumors on Twitter or YouTube that were addressing that we were touched physically. So I don't know where the fuck that came from. And he didn't even address what exactly he did. He didn't even give me, anybody involved, an apology. Because to this day, since we've come out, we are getting harassment every goddamn day. There are so many people who are still involved that have not come out because they are scared to deal with that fucking harassment the way we are.
At the end of the year, Miniladd uploaded a new apology video called My Apology, where he stated that he was depressed and how that wasn't a good excuse, but he was going to get help. Here's parts of his video.
She's someone who has helped me out a lot. The first thing that I wanted to say was I added Hallie on Snapchat when she was 16. This isn't when I was making any remarks towards her. This is just where I talked to all of my friends. I was that guy that had streaks, and I wanted to make sure that our streaks were good because back in 2015, that's kind of what people did. It wasn't until 2016 when she was 17 that I first started to flirt with her. I was 21 at the time. And that's not okay. Like, and I'm aware of that. So with Hallie and both with Ash, I sent the messages around this time, and I understand what I'm gonna say next is quite taboo online, but if this is my way of putting all my cards on the table and telling you guys what happened, I feel like I need to say it. The reason I did what I did, and there is even a message where I said this, is because what I said there is true. I did try to end my life at the beginning of 2017. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for anything. This is not what this is about. This is telling you guys the reason, and I just want you to understand the headspace that I was in. The reality is I was being selfish. I wasn't thinking about repercussions. I wasn't thinking about anything. I was just being stupid, and I really want to apologize for that. I just wasn't thinking, and I regret it. I've regretted it since, and for that, for both Hallie and Ash, I'm really sorry. Ash, to me, I knew a lot shorter. I may only have known her a few months. She was a part of a group of friends who my Twitch mods were friends with, and that's how we became friends. This is someone who I became friends with just through association with my friends, and the stuff I sent to her is just not okay either. And that's not what I want. You know, she was someone that I really did call my friend, and it sucks that I let her down like that. I also wanted to point out a message that I sent to Laura, who is a part of my Discord mods. She's someone who I met a few years back, maybe 2016, and she was someone who I considered a friend as well. Whenever we went to Insomnia, we used to hang out and meet up at the booth that Terrorizer and I had, and I sent this message. Whenever I saw them coming out with my message, I sent them this. This isn't me. That's not right. It's something that I completely regret. I panicked. I was scared. I didn't know what to do, and I love my job so much that I didn't want it to go away. And I just wasn't right.
After this, Miniladd went dark. He deleted all of his tweets and didn't upload to YouTube at all throughout this time. There would still be updates on Miniladd though. In February of 2021, The Hollywood Fix caught Miniladd outside and questioned him about when he was going to come back to YouTube, and he said that he was just taking some time to work on himself. Several months later, in October of 2021, Craig uploaded a video where he explained how he was going to therapy and how working out changed his whole perspective of being depressed, and how it was his own therapy as well. Shortly after coming back to the platform, Miniladd deleted both apology videos, and it seemed like he was trying to sweep everything under the rug. Even with his first video back, he never stated exactly why he left the platform. He makes it seem like he only left for his mental health, but he left because of something way darker. But sweeping things under the rug really didn't work for Miniladd. Recently, a creator by the name of TJV uploaded a video of someone donating to Craig. The donation just points out how people hadn't forgotten about everything Miniladd did. Miniladd tried to ignore it, but later on addressed the comment and said to get their facts straight, even though everything that was said in the donation actually happened. Those were all facts.
Thanks, Ben. Hang on them? I don't know what you're saying. I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna leave you with... I'm gonna type in memes. I'm gonna try and show you a video that I wasn't planning on watching.
So yeah, he has that reaction to it. I've already made a video about it. That's all done. That's old news. I get it. What is new news is that he said something to this person who donated while the memes were playing, so you could not see his face or anything. He turned off his webcam and he said something about this donation, and this is what he said.
Oh, by the way, to the person who just donated to me, please get your facts straight. Thank you. I'll be back.
And
Miniladd's return to YouTube was actually pretty decent. He was receiving over 100,000 views at first per every upload, but he'd take another break off of the YouTube platform, and when he came back recently, he has struggled to even crack 75,000 views, and even 50,000 views. 3 years after the allegations broke out against Miniladd, he has tried multiple times to make a comeback to the YouTube platform, but they have been pretty unsuccessful. This was a creator who had it all, and in 2019, won an award for being a really great creator on YouTube, but he let his ego get the best of him and took advantage of minors in order to get what he wanted out of them, and then kicked them to the side after he was finished with them. And when he was threatened, he acted as if he'd end his own life in order to manipulate these young girls into not exposing him for the creep that he really was. Miniladd may have been able to come back to the platform, but people will never forget what he has done in the past and why he went from 5 million subscribers to 4.6 million subscribers and continues to drop every single day. But this has been Revisiting Miniladd. Let me know in the comments below who you want me to revisit next. Honestly, I enjoyed making this video. I wasn't the best at making scripts back in the day, and to redo this video and add more information and context into it was really fun. So let me know in the comments below if you want me to make even more videos like this, and I'll do it. But follow me on Instagram and join the Discord. Both will be linked in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also leave a like. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.